Welcome back, everyone. So, I feel like I've waited for a chance to discuss this issue for way too long. This is about, essentially, the Whopper, which is a Burger King, sort of their speciality burger. It's the Big Mac of Burger King. And when you see them on TV and you see the kids or even adults in the commercials, grabbing this giant burger, it looks like a Whopper. It looks huge. Wow, that's such a Whopper, as we said, like big. But then, and it looks like the patty inside is super thick and wide, and you get loads of lettuce, and it just looks really luxurious. But, you've all eaten a Whopper in real life. It never, ever looks like the advertising. And, well, it's not just Burger King. I think it's all of the brands, particularly fast food. It always looks so much bigger and better in the adverts. And I feel like we've all just been accepting that reality. Of course it doesn't look like the advert. But somebody has finally decided, no, this is not acceptable. This is false advertising. And they sued Burger King, or they are in the process of suing Burger King for false advertising. My burger does not look like your advert. And I think it's great that someone is finally addressing this issue, that why was it acceptable in the fast food industry to let the adverts just get further and further away from reality? Anyway, it is pretty difficult to prove this in court, and some of the arguments that are mentioned in the article that Burger King was using is, well, I know our patty is not larger than the bun in reality, where it looks like it's larger in the bun, but how do you know it's not the patty that's smaller, it's the bun that's bigger? So you're getting actually more bun for your money compared to in the advertising. And that was pretty difficult to argue against, because there is no sort of weights and measurements mentioned in the article compared to reality. So also they said, well, in advertising, of course, we're making the best case scenario. Maybe there are, if we could cook every Whopper to the ideal standard, that's what they all would look like. It's just that once we've, done it in different places around the world with different chefs, and they're packaging it up in the wrapping paper and then serving it, and by the time you get there, of course, it's not in its ideal state. Which again is quite difficult to argue against in a courtroom. So I don't know if they're going to win this lawsuit, or at least in the article it makes it sound they're probably not going to win this lawsuit. But I'm just glad that somebody is raising this as hello, this is totally false advertising.
Like, be careful.
Why have we let it get this extreme without even commenting on it? I'm glad someone mentioned that.
Fighting the battles that you don't.
Or just like they said, I heard this in like a political context, it's like we've all got to the point now where we've accepted that politicians are just liars. And we've just accepted that. That's what politicians do. We don't have to believe anything they ever say, and that's okay. Somehow that's become the new reality. They talk crap and then they don't do it.
Politicians, hamburgers, same.
Yeah, there's a crossover, Anyway, so I was just thought it was interesting to talk about. And it's one of those things that we've let slide for too long. So, John.
Okay.
Let's get down to the real nitty-gritty. Let's ignore all the riff-raff chit-chat, and the real question is,
no more patties.
Which do you like more, McDonald's or Burger King, and why?
Okay, so I would have said Burger King a while ago, which is a controversial thing apparently these days, because everyone hates Burger King these days.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? You'll have to explain that.
Yeah, I'll do it in a second. So I don't like McDonald's, I never have, but McMorning does not get beat. He just doesn't. And so if we're comparing like McDonald's to Burger King, their like lunch menu, how can I choose? They're both terrible in many different ways, but you got McMorning. And I don't know what BK does for their morning, but it's not near what McDonald's does. People don't like Burger King burgers because of the taste these days. A lot of people are complaining about the size, correct, but they're complaining about the taste. They say it doesn't taste good anymore. They're like, people are saying Burger King is one of the worst fast food joints that you can actually purchase in America currently.
I see.
Yeah.
It has been a while since I've had a Burger King.
Me too.
I remember it being better than McDonald's, but we are talking pre-COVID.
Exactly.
At least, if not many years before that.
Yeah.
Oh.
haven't had one for a while.
Gone downhill. That's sad. So again, about this reality thing, like, have you ever genuinely been disappointed, you know, when you open up your fast food burger and it's not like the advertising? Did you feel disappointed, or did you feel like, oh, well, that's just normal?
I guess this is where we differ in one way, because them false advertising it, I guess it is kind of false advertising, but I've just always expected it to be fake. And so when I get the burger, when I have any food from any place that has had maybe a little bit of fake advertising, you know, instead of milk they do glue or something to make it look better, whatever. That type of stuff, I'm just always like, it's never going to look like the picture, but I do know what I'm getting. And so I've never been disappointed.
Yeah, I feel like that's me too. I've just so internalized that there is a difference between the marketing and the reality. It doesn't bother me.
Not phased
But
at all.
that's weird. Isn't that weird?
If you stop and think about it, it is. So I'm not going to stop and think about it.
Okay, let's gloss quickly over the existential crisis that's going to happen and get down to the gist of this lesson, which of course is the vocabulary. Prep yourself well for your future English conversations by checking it out. It's not your nemesis. Don't fear it. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Metaphorically.
Metaphorically.
Nemesis.
Nemesis.
Disgruntled.
Disgruntled.
Gist.
Gist.
Litigation.
Litigation.